What's going on, Reason Gang? It's me, Quasar. I'm a DJ, a music producer, and a YouTuber. Please enjoy this video and stop by my channel to see more. It's linked below. Thanks a lot, Reason Studios. Okay, so I've used a lot of delays in my time, and I mean a lot. And that includes owning these mega popular, supposedly god tier delays that everybody runs out and buys. Yet, year after year, session after session, I keep coming back to this bad boy right here. Let me show you what makes it special real quick. First up is the mode selector. Now, this section acts as a gate with 3 different ways of passing the input signal along to the subsequent main sections. Normal mode you already know, so let's start out with trigger mode. In trigger mode, the signal goes unprocessed until this button is, well, triggered. Perfect for automating it so that your delay only acts on certain moments of your track. For example, at the end of a vocal phrase, like so.
I want you, but I'm tired of the back and forth. I want you, but I'm tired of just falling short.
In roll mode, the unprocessed signal passes through unaffected until you turn up the roll slider. This gradually suppresses the dry signal while simultaneously raising the feedback and mixing the output towards the wet signal. It's useful for repeat, stutter, and glitch effects. See, we're just getting started, and already this unit is able to morph itself to fit your needs in a straightforward manner. But let's keep going, because this next little knob is really cool. This offset R knob controls the right channel delay time offset. The more you turn this, the more the right channel will be delayed in relation to the left channel. You can use milliseconds or you can sync them to the tempo linked to this global parameter. It's just a clever and easy to dial in way to set up a stereo delay and keep the plugin looking neat and tidy and not overwhelming. Also, something to note with this ping pong section is this knob here, which not only controls the width of the delay taps as they bounce back and forth, but it also controls on which side the first tap will hit. Hard left, and the first tap will hit hard left.
Back and forth.
Same difference for hard right.
Back and forth.
Here's not so hard left.
Back and forth.
See, the first tap is still to the left. And not so hard right.
Back and forth.
Sick. The feedback section also has an offset R knob, but this time it's bipolar. The one in the delay section was unipolar as it only added delay time based on the left channel. With this knob, you're adding or subtracting from this feedback setting here, except you're only adding or subtracting from the right side. So in practice, if you dial this up, then you end up with a feedback that plays longer on the right side. Conversely, if you offset the feedback in the right channel by taking time away, it will feel as if the delay is drifting to the left. It has diffusion, which adds little tiny delays and allows you to spread them throughout the stereo spectrum for a smearing effect.
Back and forth.
It has this color section with 3 different flavors of distortion and a resonant bandpass filter. Each echo repeat is colored before being fed back into the loop, so distortion and filter effects will be more pronounced with each repeat.
Back and forth.
The modulation section. With this section, you can modulate the pitch and the stereo image of your echo. The envelope parameter makes the delay taps kind of bend downward or upward in terms of pitch.
Back and forth.
Wobble emulates tape speed wobble, making the repeats fluctuate in pitch randomly.
Back and forth.
Even this LFO parameter is much cooler than it lets on. Turning this amount knob up modulates the pitch of the right and left channel independently, giving you a kind of stereo spread type effect.
Back and forth.
It even has a ducking feature. Dial this up like this and the delay repeats will get out of the way of the dry signal and come in during the silences.
Meet me in the back of the room, back of the party. Meet me in the back of the room, back of the party. Meet me in the back of the room, back of the party. Meet me in the back of the room, back of the party.
Whew. So I just realized I went over this whole device but the whole device is pretty cool, so. Some of my Reason power users out there may have noticed that I didn't even mention one of the most powerful features of this delay. Dun dun dun! The breakout cables. With these, the possibilities can be almost endless, but you gotta be a little careful because things can get out of hand pretty quickly. So if you're interested in unlocking, let's talk about the Echo's breakout cable section. With these jacks right back here, you can easily patch, well, anything you want into the feedback loop of the Echo for near infinite possibilities, ranging from the functional, like these combinators I made, more on those in a bit, to the wildly creative, all in this easy and fast to set up little system. Let me show you some examples. I'll start by showing you how to route a Scream 4 distortion unit into the feedback loop of the Echo. I'll drag the Scream over here while holding Shift on my keyboard so that it doesn't auto route. Then I'll manually patch the cables into the breakout ins and outs to tap into the feedback loop. Now we can dirty up our delay repeats to the power of Scream. Let's take a listen.
I feel safe.
Well, that didn't sound too good, but it's the perfect time for a word of caution. You see, each delay repeat will be more colored by whatever you have plugged into the breakout jacks, so it can easily turn into a cacophonous mess if you don't dial things back and go slow. Okay, so let's reset this, bring this way down, bring this presence knob up a bit, and
I feel safe in your arms. When I stay with your heart.
we can even use this body feature, which will make it sound like your delays are coming through a cabinet or the body of an instrument. Just watch the resonance or things will start ringing again.
I feel safe in your arms. When I stay with your heart.
It also sounds good to add a reverb to the feedback loop.
I feel safe in your arms. When I stay with your heart.
Here's one I made with an Audiomatic and a synchronous. I modified this breather patch because it was causing the Echo to feedback all crazy like before. I dialed everything back, and I'll accentuate this so you can hear it. Now the delays have this pumping, breathing effect.
I feel safe in your arms. When I stay with your heart.
Could be useful.
And speaking of the Audiomatic, throw this in the feedback loop to add a whole nother spice rack to flavor up those delays.
I feel safe in your arms. When I stay with your heart.
It also bears mentioning that you can achieve very similar routing without the breakout cables. If you create a send and put an Echo on it like this and set it to full wet, then you can stack any number of plugins underneath it. But A, that gets messy, and B, you can only have so many sends. I also love the convenience you get by being able to just patch something in right there on the channel if you want without having to make an effect rack or anything too tricky. Things get even more convenient when you pack your favorite setups into combinators. Like this handy little setup I made for when you want to tame a specific frequency in your delay repeats. I made a dynamic EQ and patched it into the feedback loop with control over what frequency here, control over threshold, ratio, attack, and release here, a high pass to clean up the repeats, and bypass buttons for the entire effect, or just for the dynamic EQ. Let's listen to this guitar and delay without the frequency ducking. Let's say I wanted to get rid of some of the picking noise in the delay repeats. I'll enable the dynamic EQ, Then I can hit solo here to listen for where the picking is most present. I'll bump the ratio a bit, undo solo, and now you can hear much less of the picking in the echoes. I also made a Combinator 1 version in case you're not on Reason 12 yet. I was able to fit most of the features on the smaller panel, so yay. Both of these combinators are available for download to members of my website. There's a link in the description. Anyway, that's the breakout cable section, guys. I hope you can see the potential. Have fun out there.